Hey guys, Trigger Happy John coming at you with another Awaken Chaos Era video, guys. So today what we're going to be talking about is going to be the 3 best epics, in my opinion, for general progression of your account. Now, when I say this does not mean that you have to have these champions. It does not mean that you are going to be reminiscent of not getting them. You don't need to whale out to get these characters or whatever. But if you do happen upon them, I'm telling you right now, they are a godsend. They make progressing in this game, progressing content so much easier, and I'm gonna explain why right now. So, for example, first one up, as you see here, I have William pulled up. William's gonna be the first one on the list. Now, the reason why is as follows. Let me go ahead and move my camera out of the way here, guys, so that way I can kind of go over his kit and explain why. So 1, he's an epic. What that means is upgrading all these skills doesn't cost nearly as much. And actually I have an upcoming video that you guys are gonna really enjoy about how to upgrade these for pretty cheap when you're really struggling to complete the higher tiers of the No Man's Land. But that'll be later in the day, so definitely stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, like it. That way you get notified when I release that video. But yeah, first off, guys, very easy to go ahead and book him up. I mean, he requires 2, 4, and this one's a little pricey here at about 9 total upgrades to get him fully booked out. But this defense down ability is amazing. So the reason why he does so well compared to any other epic is the basic abilities of all team members deal 50% more damage. Now, this literally means everyone's A1 does 50% more damage. So if you have someone who has a very strong A1 and they pair them with William, their ability automatically does an additional 50% more damage. That is massive amount of damage when considering like his A1 only does 50% damage itself, right? And say, for example, his A2 deals 100% damage. So he's literally gonna do twice or almost half of this max damage additional to your entire formation, okay? But anyways, let's talk about his A1. Deals 50% damage to an enemy and launches a joint attack with a random ally. Booked up to a 50% damage increase. I think it starts at 30% damage and then it scales up by 10 each time. The reason why this is amazing is 1, it's a joint attack, right? So you literally, he's gonna go in, he's gonna do 50% damage. Then he's gonna randomly grab one of your teammates who, you could have a very strong nuker, a very strong other character, and they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna do their attack. Now, keep in mind, they have the 50% up with their attack, as well as whatever their attack is, right? So you can do a lot of damage just with this one A1 by grabbing an ally, okay? But that's not all. Next up, we have the Order Hold Position Special. What's this do? Grants 1 stack of counterattack to all team members and applies defense up to the main target for 3 turns. This is great if you know, for example, in the guild boss, if you know exactly who's going to get hit on the single target, you go and you put the defense up on them and it saves them. If you have a team member who is low on HP and you have this ability, you put the defense up on them and then the counterattack as well. This is going to help a lot with the survivability. This is honestly, one counterattack is amazing, but it's honestly one of the best abilities in the game because it's kind of like a 50% defense boost. That's a massive stat increase, guys. Like that's huge stat increase compared to what you would normally get just from gear, right? Keep in mind, this does scale off of the character's base defense. Counterattack also is always one of the strongest abilities in any game because, I mean, literally you get hit once, you get to do more damage to them, right? Who doesn't like more damage? Keep in mind, this is only 1 stack though, so if they get hit by multi-hitter or if multi people come in and hit them, for example, it's only going to attack the first person that hits because it's only 1 stack of counterattack. Lastly, the last part of the kit here, Order Advance. Now, guys, for an epic, this is massive. This is deals 100% damage to all enemies with an 80% chance to apply defense down for 2 turns. Now, you do have to book this up. Notice the chance never goes up with any of these skill increases, so it's automatically an 80% chance to apply that defense down. That's awesome. Give him a little bit of focus so that way he can land it, but he will do a lot of work for you by putting that defensive down. Not to mention it's AoE, so it's gonna do the whole party. And 100% damage really it's pretty decent. That's a decent amount of damage. You're not going to use this guy as your main damage dealer though. You're going to make him for survivability because he has this counterattack. He has this A1, which is really just makes more of a caveat of the other team or other team members in your formation to really do the damage, guys. So he's going to bring the damage, but not by himself. He's going to help support it. Okay, so he's a very, very good support champion. I want to make sure you guys understand that correctly. Now, the next champion we're going to talk about, they're an attack damage dealer. Next up, we're going to talk about is the one and only Zatlux. I'm sure most of you are familiar so far that Zatlux is a beast. He's massive. He does so much damage. And let's go ahead and explain why he does so much damage. I should probably upgrade the rest of his damage too, huh? All right. So this is why he does so much damage. And yes, I'm aware I could upgrade and max him out, but I've been farming with him anyway, so I'm just gonna let naturally gain the EXP instead of waste all my jelly on it. First up, upon defeating an enemy, resets all of this character's cooldowns. Okay, so what's that mean? He kills somebody, all the cooldowns are set back to 0. That's GG easy. Literally, let this guy do your damage. If you have someone who is a wind opponent, a water opponent, this guy is your man. He's going to do so much damage for you. The other thing to note is the trait. So his trait is very, very good because he only requires Ascension 2 to get his trait boost, which will also, upon defeating an enemy, resets all this character's ability cooldowns, grants attack up for 1 turn. Now that attack up is going to be, I think, a 30% attack up. So that's massive. So not only is he going to kill someone, get more attack, and then go after the next one, but yeah, that's amazing. And when I say he's going to go after the next one, let's go ahead and jump to why I say that. His A3, which can be booked down to a 4-turn cooldown, which really, as long as he's killing people, it doesn't matter. Deal 200% damage to an enemy plus bonus damage. The fewer the enemies remaining, the higher the bonus damage dealt. If this ability kills the target, then it launches a bonus attack against the enemy with the lowest health. I love how they worded this and created the AI for Zatlux. So here's why. So 1, deal 200% damage to an enemy. So you select the enemy, you do 200% damage. That's a lot of damage. That's not a shy number to look at. Plus bonus damage to an enemy plus bonus damage. Okay. The fewer the enemies remaining, the higher the bonus damage dealt. So that's what the bonus damage is. So if you go in there and you kill one person, and what happens is skill resets, he gets to go attack again for the next lowest HP. He does more damage, and that's already a lower HP. So the lowest of the HP. So that gives you more chance to kill someone. You kill that one, hey, you've reduced the number again, and your cooldowns reset, you're on to the next one. That's why this ability is probably one of the best in the game, in my opinion, especially for an epic. This is an amazing epic carry for your account. Now, I'm sitting here ranting and raving, but that's not all, guys. That's not all that this guy's kit brings. His passive ability is A2, grants plus 30% crit rate and plus 30 precision. Guys, that's amazing. 30% crit rate means you only need to have 70% crit rate technically on him to do all the damage. Mine is not built the greatest. I did not quite hit the crit rate threshold. I'm still struggling with gear. You know, the game's new. It's going to happen. But at 60%, I'm seeing very, very good results, okay? Now, the other thing is ability to prevent attacks from being deflected. So precision is very helpful as well to make sure he lands those attacks, especially on the strong affinities against him. Okay. Lastly, we have the A1, deals 100% damage to an enemy and grants speed up to this character for 1 turn. Granted, keep in mind, if this kills somebody, it resets all the cooldowns, right, guys? So say your A3 lands, you don't kill that last guy, you get back around here, you attack him. Now you get a speed up boost and you reset your cooldown. And that speed up is going to help him jump up higher in the line, and that way he can just go, right, guys? Very, very strong ability. Amazing kit. Highly recommend. Definitely kit him out to do damage. He could be a main damage dealer, and he's going to be pretty viable, honestly, through most of the adventure stage and even in the dungeons. All right, last but not least, we're going to talk about is our girl, Natalia. Now, I recognized Natalia's kit when I first saw it, but I didn't really want to risk building her yet. But here's why she makes the third best. So we talked about Zatlux, right? Notice Zatlux is wind, so that means he's going to be super, super weak against the fire element. Okay. You know, also we got William. He's going to be weak against the wind element, but that's okay. I mean, it's not you don't have a whole lot of wind elemental bosses that you're fighting, but you do have a lot of fire ones. So what do you do in the case where you got a fire elemental? You bring in Natalia. Okay. You bring in Natalia, and the reason why you bring in Natalia is because her kit, it's phenomenal. I mean, it's not as good as Zatlux. Like, don't let me sugarplay it here. It's not as good as Zatlux, but it's pretty damn close. All right, so let's go into why. Start with the ability. For every positive effect this character has, their ability affects one extra enemy. That's right, you read that correctly. For every positive effect this character has, their abilities affect one extra enemy. So how many buffs does she need to be an AoE champion? Let's do some quick math, guys. 4 buffs. Actually, I think technically 3 buffs, but 4 buffs guarantees you hit everybody in their formation. She becomes an AoE damage dealer on all of her abilities. That in itself is amazing. The next thing we want to talk about, actually, let's talk about the Ascension as well. So you get her to Ascension 2 here, guys. For every positive effect, she does 1 extra enemy, and the damage is increased by 10%. Now that's gonna stack positively with that. So that means for every buff she has, she does 10% more damage. So you remember how Zatlux had the, like, you know, as he kill people and they get less amount of people on the field, he gets stronger. Well, she gets stronger once you get her ascended just by having buffs on her. So you stack her with as many buffs as you can. That's a plus 10% damage boost up and up and up, right? So then that goes into this A1 ability. Deals 100% damage to an enemy and grants random stats up to this character for 1 turn. So keep this in mind. She self-buffs a random stat with her A1. So she automatically, right from the get-go, her kit synergizes and automatically puts up a buff on her, which then makes her attack not only one target, but another target. So automatically she starts the process of being an AoE damage dealer off of her A1. That in itself is very, very good. The 100% damage for an A1 is also very, very good, especially for an epic unit. Next we have is her passive. Applies attack up and immune for 2 turns if this character is buffed by a positive effect at the start of their turn. So this is literally, it's kind of like how it reads. So if she already has a buff on her and she starts her turn, she's gonna get attack up and immune right there. So that gives two more buffs. Plus the other one you got, that's 3 buffs, right? For the A1, say you hit the A1 or whatever buff she had on her prior to this. And now you made her an AoE damage dealer. She's gonna do all the damage for you. On top of the attack up, which is guaranteed, and the immune will be very, very nice because that basically will keep her from getting like a counterattack, stun, counterattack, defense down, so on and so forth. Because at that point, she's going to be immune, right? Lastly, we're going to talk about is her ultimate here. Now, her A3, as I'll call it, deals 180% damage to an enemy. If this enemy is killed, this ability's cooldown is reset. Okay. So it's not as good as Zatlux, where she's not going to take infinite turns, right? She's not going to take infinite turns and just wail and wipe a whole team. But what's going to happen is she's going to go ahead and she's going to do her damage. If she nukes them down and she kills somebody, this is reset. So think of this as a wave clear type method, where if you go fast, you're going to go boom, 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 wave clear, wave clear, wave clear. And that's what's very good about her. What's highly recommended is you put her with some sort of a defense down unit. You bring her in there, you know, with a buff on her. Boom, she's gonna clear the way for you. She's gonna do a massive amount of damage. One other thing I want to note with her and with all these other characters, guys, let's keep in mind their A1s are 100% damage. Let's go back to Zatlux, show you. 100% damage. What happens if you put William with both of them? Well, the passive kicks in. Boom. They all do 150% damage on an A1 ability, and he can grab one of them with his A1. See where I'm going with this? This is why I say this is the top 3. 100%, because between the 3 of them, they are going to synergize, and they are going to waylay and do so much damage that honestly, it makes a big difference. I've even used like Natalia. I just finished and beat No Man's Land on the Fire Dragon. Here, I'll show you real quick. So I just did this today. I just cleared stage 9, and you know who's on my team? Show you. Boom, there's my loadout. Granted, yes, I don't have Zatlux in here because it's fire. Like I said, you don't want to use Zatlux against fire. But having William and having Natalia on the team, GG. I actually did this without having ZT Lin in there, but he just makes it go a lot quicker when he gets to the boss, because what'll happen is he'll waste his curse, he'll get to the boss, it'll cycle all the way through, curse will go back on, and then she just destroys. As you saw there, she had enough buffs on her because I paired her with William and Connor, so her buffs are up there. She AoE nuked them, right? She was the damage dealer. I have Valeria, I have a lot of other damage dealers, but in this situation, Natalia is the one to go. Now keep in mind, this is very low tier gear on her, so it's not the best example. I do understand that, but look at the damage she's about to do, guys. She sits there and she just smacks, does all that damage. It's amazing, especially for an epic. Paired with William there, when William procs off with his A1 and could possibly grab her, she's gonna do all the damage for you, and it's gonna just be GG, it's over. See that damage, guys? 2,700 damage with mediocre gear, level 50, mind you. And honestly, I'm clearing this without that much of a struggle because I paired William and Natalia together. Now, the same thing will go with Zatlux if you have like a stripper and you go into, I believe it's Tulpa. No, maybe not Tulpa. But he's also does very, very well in this PvE content, guys. I'm telling you right now, between these three, if you get these three characters, you're pretty much set on your progression because they synergize so well. They're going to do all the damage for you. And what you're running up against an adventure and mythic is mostly you're running into some sort of a fire or water boss, right? Well, here you go. Natalia is going to beat your fire boss for you just like that. And Zatlux is going to beat your water boss. So I hope this video helped, guys. Hopefully this was a halfway decent explanation as to why these characters are great. If you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Peace.